Namaste, Sagittarius. This is your biweekly reading for the period of September 16th through the 30th, finishing out the month. And we're beginning with the Eight of Cups, which is about you walking away from something or perhaps walking towards something. In either case, it's for the best. It's better for you. For some of you, it has nothing to do with either of those, and it's about looking for some sort of higher, you know, higher love. It could be higher and deeper meaning spiritually, just like, why am I here? Who am I? What am I? Where am I? And you're trying to find that and find yourself and get answers to things, maybe questions you never asked before, but now you're seeking information and knowledge, which is beautiful. But I think for some of you, it's going to be about leaving work, because I shuffle a few decks before I start these readings, and so I got two decks over here. I didn't even realize what was behind this, but we're beginning with these decks with the Five of Wands: competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. And one of the places where that conflict can occur is at work. And I just felt like right away when I finished shuffling it that's what the case was. And when I felt that, I hadn't even realized that behind this Five of Wands is the King of Pentacles. So it could definitely be connected to work, or something having to do with money or assets, material, generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. So just as I was saying, whatever you're walking away from, even in possibly a job, it's for the best. Maybe you're walking away from that so you can start your own company, or because you've already started your own company and you can no longer afford to give time to something else. You got to commit to what you're doing. All of those things are possible. And this can also involve an actual person. It is a court card, which they often represent actual people. This may be a direct earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Or this could all be happening. This energy could be brought on by the fact that your ruler, Jupiter, is currently located in Capricorn and had been retrograde there for about 4 months, but went direct just last week. And right behind that King of Pentacles is actually another character. It's the Queen of Swords. All of your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, like perhaps your job or a relationship, or some old belief systems that don't work anymore in your life, and that's why you're looking for some sort of higher spirituality. Whatever the case is, clear those away. They don't work anymore, and disengage from people who create more drama than happiness as well. Queen of Swords can represent an actual person in your life, if it's not just you taking on this energy of being experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and witty. Might be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes in your life. And yet another character immediately behind that, it's Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. Maybe you need to do some introspection, go within, get some clarity so you can figure it out who or what it is you want to use the Queen of Swords energy to remove from your life. That's possible. And then the next card, it's yet another character, but it's you, or fire energy. So possibly you, or if not, another Sagittarius that's maybe in your life, or an Aries or Leo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. They are energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Again, maybe for your own business or a relationship or something. Personal growth, which is what your ruler is all about, growth and expansion. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. I could keep going on for this, but it's telling like a whole story. The next card is the World. That's also for me about something coming and in, like a job you should have left a long time ago, but you didn't. So now the universe is easing you out of it. A relationship, a circumstance, a living condition, a job, and all of these things are possible too. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. And yet another character after that. It's just character after character. The Page of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, I said all that to say, or I started looking through all those cards to say, I think it has something to do with work. I started with only this one. This was the only one I knew about. I think it may have to do with work, but the Five of Wands for me is also about, if it's not about the individual themselves being conflicted, which it also could be that, and maybe that's why you need to do some introspection, work or close friends or family, as opposed to, let's say the Five of Swords for me, which can be about anybody. It could be like you're walking down the street and a stranger steps on your foot and there goes a conflict. This is more personal. This tends to be more personal for me, the Wands. But when it's, I don't want to say more positive, because it's like, it can be positive to have these disagreements and get to the root of them and figure out stuff for yourself. And again, it allows for growth and stuff. But and immediately positive reason for the Five of Wands can also be, for me, it just represents like a very strong Martian energy, aggressive, taking action, like by any means necessary. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this thing happen that I want to happen. So that's another possibility. But getting back to the Eight of Cups, I said all that to say, again, I feel that something may have to do with work. For some of you, that's what you're leaving. And okay, maybe for some of you, well, okay, first let me talk about the work meaning of the King of Cups in reverse. He is somebody that has kind of like an emotional breakdown, or they just have to let out something, let loose on something. Remember, if you ever see that movie Jerry Maguire, where he just couldn't take the company that he was working at anymore. He did this whole like mission statement and basically had to, just felt compelled to say how he felt at work. And everybody was like, oh, and he ended up getting fired, and all that. But he just had to let all this stuff out. The King of Cups in reverse, as it relates to work, can be about that. Like somebody, typically a man, that has some sort of emotional upheaval or breakdown or something at work, but that it can all often lead to something positive, like that information had to come out. And ultimately, that's what happened with Jerry Maguire. And look, it's more of this potential work energy. So that could be what it's about. Again, the King of Cups, if he's an actual person in your life, is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. In love, this card is a lot more exciting. It is about somebody who, is ready to finally like risk it all for love and happiness. And they could be the same person who wasn't calling you at all before, didn't make an attempt to see you for whatever happened. They may have had some sort of revelation or something, and now again, it's by any means necessary. I must do this. It always reminds me of that Jodeci song where KC says, the song starts by him saying, "Take my money, my house, and my car." It's like, just to be with this woman, he'd give up everything. And that's what the King of Cups in reverse, as it relates to love, can be about. And this may just be describing the emotions, perhaps, of a Knight of Pentacles. Right? We keep seeing this energy with the Pentacles. Maybe that's the person that's in your life. It doesn't have to be. But it could very well be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Or again, someone likened to those traits or attributes. All these pentacles can be showing up again because your ruling planet located in the sign of Capricorn. Four of Pentacles for me, holding on to something that is no longer serving you way too tightly, often about the need to leave a job or living condition or relationship. It's like you're there because, if it's a job, you're there because you get a paycheck, but you're otherwise miserable there, and they're probably miserable with you. There's places that you can work where you don't have to be miserable. Or again, you can work for yourself and not be miserable. There's places where we can work that we can get pleasure and enjoyment out of it, not just the paycheck. The next card is in reverse. It's the Fool in reverse. I could go into that, but we're going to look at some other cards. I'm going to start the shuffle, opening first to the High Priestess, which represents the sign of Gemini. And again, more spiritual energy, perhaps, especially opposite the Eight of Cups. In the tarot, this can also be a water sign, not a Gemini. Eight of Cups, Ace of Swords in reverse. Also, of course, connected to the energy of Gemini as well as that of Libra and Aquarius. Eight of Cups. Ace of Wands. This is your energy. Both of the aces thus far were in reverse. This is your energy, though, as well as that of Leo and Aries. New beginning, perhaps delayed, or something having to do with work and or travel. Delayed still. And speaking of Gemini again, the Magician. Means you have all the tools, resources, abilities you need to manifest any and everything you want. You put the work in, you're going to get the outcome out of that. Even if it's been feeling like you've been overwhelmed, like you got too much on your plate, like everybody who needs something comes to you, you're the go-to person. If somebody needs a shoulder to lean on, to cry on, or money to borrow for their rent or whatever the case, and maybe you're beginning to feel like, well, what about me? You know, like, who can I go to? Feeling sort of left out in the cold. Everybody else has somebody to go to. Everybody else's life is so wonderful right now. I keep seeing posts on Facebook about these wonderful relationships and stuff, and anniversaries and engagement, or people pretending that their relationships are happy, and behind the scenes, you know, this one's cheating and that one they're not really interested. They're separated. Nobody knows that just because they live together, everybody thinks they're still happy. You know, it's all these sorts of things. But in your mind, you can feel like when is it my turn? Why is everybody else's situation or life so awesome? And what about me? It can be what the Five of Pentacles is about. And sometimes it does specifically have to do with money or assets, and worry about not having any or having enough. And now you got a lot of fives. Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Now, this is another card of conflict. Again, could be conflict with anybody, maybe somebody at work. And there's the Ace of Swords upright on that note. And that is a sign of victory and truth coming out. Truth prevailing also. So on that note, we will cut. And that brings us to an overall energy for you now of the Nine of Cups in reverse. So this is almost as awesome as the Nine of Cups upright. This is wishes being granted, dreams coming true, prayers being answered. Maybe not in such an, obvious or blatant or noticeable way as when the card is upright, but this is things going your way and things that you asked for and things that you wanted being set in motion. It's a yes from the minor arcana, and behind it is major arcana card Judgment upright, and this too is about abundance that's earned. So you're getting those things that you prayed for, that you wanted, that you need, that you deserve. King of Pentacles upright. This is you got like the Midas touch, things going your way. If you need a job, it's coming. You're trying to start your own business, it's going to go well. You applied for some credit, application approved, like that sort of thing. Very nice. I'm going to get the stand so that we can see the cards more clearly. Something like that is usually good. If it's not, I'll fix it in a second. So I'm going to draw 4 cards. The first one will be most directly representing you over the next 2 weeks. It is the Two of Cups in reverse. Nice. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers perhaps, something going on at the job. Knight of Wands in reverse. Work and finance specifically. Five of Wands. I told you. I knew this was about work. Well, that's what it is when you're psychic. I always say, I knew it. And then people say, yeah, of course you did. Oh, man. I'm sorry. This is the Seven of Wands. Okay, so I didn't know. Well, I still felt that it was about work. But so this is usually actually with the Wands and the Swords. When you see like the 5 The 7, the 9, or in the case of swords, the 3 also tends not to be far behind, actually. Anyway, love and relationship. Major Arcana card, the Star in reverse. That's beautiful. Okay, and 9 of Cups, overall energy. Can we see everything? Yep, let's go. These cards really go along with my original prediction of there being something going on with work. So I'm going to start, of course, with the card most directly representing you, the 2 of Cups in reverse, but I'm going to start with it as it relates to work. And what it can mean is that suddenly you like your job a lot less, and you just may feel like there's just too many unpleasant feelings between you and your coworkers or your subordinates and your bosses. Everybody just holds, like negative energy against each other, and you may want to get out of there. Don't panic. That's the first thing. It could be a phase, but for some of you, you really just want to leave the job. And the 8 of Cups that we started with shows that you're going to be giving it consideration. Not that you're necessarily going to be doing it. You're obviously going to give it the careful thought that's required. And that's what you need to do. Start thinking about possibly making a change. And then trust your gut instincts as to what you should actually do. In a general sense, this card says that things are likely to be going well in your life in general. But you may be causing some sort of issues in your platonic friendships by giving too much attention to your love life. You've had those friends that were like, I'm really on the phone and stuff, but when you do get on the phone with them, for example, all they want to talk about is that, man or that woman or whatever, and you're just like, oh Lord, why did I even start this conversation? Everything is about this person, whether they're actually with them or not. I think we've all had that experience with one friend or another. So it could be something like that, you're that person right now. Just always focused on relationship, and that can get boring, irritating, annoying with platonic relationships, whether they're family members or just close friends and stuff. In terms of love specifically, saying a similar sort of thing, you may be paying too much attention to love, to the exclusion of everything else in your life, and you need to focus on some other things, and maybe more on yourself and on your work and where you're going to be working, getting into figuring that out or something like that. Also, in another sense, the 2 of Cups in reverse can be you and another person or other people in your relationships, whether again it's close friends, family members, a romantic interest, people at your job, just not on the same page, not seeing eye to eye. So that's something obviously that needs to be resolved or looked at least. For the surrounding energy, this could be in part your energy. I mean, it is your element, right, with the wands, as well as that of Aries and Leo. But keeping with the theme and starting off with work again, this can be about an interruption in your work. For example, you could get, pulled away from some sort of training or meeting, or I don't know, your regular desk or something, to be thrown into something else, or the building in which you work can literally be shut down for a few days or something. And I was seeing this for the collective in the form of the Tower in one of the readings I did over the weekend. May have been my Virgo new moon reading. The Tower and the Rider-Waite has those people jumping out of buildings and flames and stuff, and I just couldn't help but think about the wildfires in the West Coast and say that because of those, maybe people's jobs would be temporarily closed down or they couldn't access them or get to them or something. Maybe they got to work from home. So something like that could be going on with you guys too. And you should try to take this in stride with as good an attitude as you can. If you're looking for work, the decision may be delayed, and in a general sense, sort of working backwards. In a general sense, this card can be about the fact that you're awaiting some sort of message, but if we're actually reading it and reading reversals, which I am, for this reading, then the idea is it normally signifies that the message that you're awaiting or decision or answer or whatever will be like there's a delay and you have to wait or try to be patient, something like that that you probably don't want to hear, but that's what it is. In terms of love, this can be about like arguments, not something huge, but maybe minor arguments, debates or whatever, disagreements in an existing relationship or a committed relationship. And as I mentioned in the beginning, like you want to try to get to the bottom of what's really happening, because sometimes it can be beneficial to finally have these debates and figure out like why are we mad, and it can either make the relationship better because you're able to have a conversation and fix it, or make it better because you have a conversation and decide it needs to end and you both get to walk away and be happier. If you're single and this card comes up again, delays, delay. Knight of Wands in general is a positive card for love and romance, but it is in reverse. So moving on to the Seven of Wands, we remain on theme. This card says that if you've ever wanted to be self-employed in the past, or you ever wanted to own your own business, now is the time to give this some real thought, like do whatever homework you need to do, research you need to do, planning, maybe a test run by doing some moonlighting or something. You have the ability to make your own business work. Remember the magician, right? You have all the tools, the resources, the wherewithal, the strength to make this work if you're willing to put in the time and effort to make it happen. Also, you of course got to be like reasonable and logical. If you start your own business, if you can rather start your own business again while you're working someplace else, while you're employed elsewhere, again moonlighting, it makes sense to do that totally. In terms of finances specifically, expect increase when you see the Seven of Wands. All right. Maybe you could get like, not necessarily this week, but this you could be learning that or seeing the evidence that you'll get some sort of bonus, and it might be during this period. It might be during this period actually. I know also the federal government's supposed to kick in with this extra $300 for those who are unemployed, but I don't think that that's what this is. I mean, it could be. This is just finances in general. This is not work. So it could be. But I see for those who are still working as opposed to being unemployed, maybe some sort of bonus or something for you too. Or something that you own is worth more than you thought. It's funny. I saw this. I guess I must have pulled this card for a friend / client that I read for a couple months ago, and like right after she learned that a car that she owned that I think she was going to junk was actually like again worth more than she expected, and she was able to. I don't know. I think she said it was some sort of write-off or something. She's in Australia, so their laws are different. But she was able to like claim the value or something, and she's like, "Oh my god! Like that was so random that you said that, but that's this thing happened." I love when things go that way. Anyways, that the similar may occur with you. What else do I want to say about it? I got off track. Wait a minute. I guess I just end by saying, get that money, just be, sensible, practical even maybe, especially if some of you got some of that Capricorn inside of you. You can do this. They're good at being grounded and practical. Be sensible about how you, use and or invest that money, and, think long term when you're doing it. So moving from there on to love and romance with Major Arcana card, the Star, albeit in reverse. The Star is still the Star, and it's just a really awesome card for love and relationships, especially existing relationships. There can be some sort of stumbling block or obstacle or something that needs to be resolved first. Again, minor arguments, debates, situations popping up. Those will need to be dealt with before all the wonderful possibilities for your relationship can come shining through like a star. So think about what blocks for which you may be responsible, if there's something that you're doing or not doing, or that you're able to change that may help you to work through them. If you're single and you feel that you're ready for love, you may want to consider what may be standing in the way of you attracting the relationship that you want. And again, go use the maybe earth energy that popped up here so many times as a means of guidance to go within in a very practical way and grounded way, and thinking about what could I do. Or if you are conflicted, we also saw those fives: Five of Swords, Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. Is there a difficulty with my esteem, my confidence? Is it too low, too high? Am I being like too shy and not approaching anybody? Or am I being too obnoxious and arrogant? Somewhere in the middle. That's where we want to be, right in the middle with the balance. And if there's something that you decide is off, that you should work on, then work on it, and then get your butt out there and mingle, as they say, and a new relationship could happen really soon for you. But you just first need to examine again any blocks. That's what the star is all about. More immediately, the star is about prayers being answered, wishes being granted, and dreams coming true. But the fact that it's in reverse is what guides me to also say that it may require a little bit of like work and effort of you in this form, the form of, again, looking within and seeing what can I improve, or what, might I need to improve, and then how am I going to go about it. Also, the star is about communication, especially communication involving some sort of technology. So maybe things like online dating, Skype, sending people pictures and videos, and all kinds of things that people do these days, right? There's all kinds of sites and apps and stuff that I don't have and know nothing about, but that are means of communicating through technology, other than just making like a phone call or something. Let's see now what the other cards may add with your advice. You saw a bunch of these already. I just want to quickly toss them in here. And then do some more like shuffling. This is more of your energy. The Three of Wands, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. Again, if you come into some money, think long-term. Next card is in reverse. We're just going to get started with your advice. One card from each deck for each archetype. From the Animal Tarot, more of your energies. The Eight of Wands now. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. This is another card that can be about messages and things too, and the universe working on your behalf behind the scenes, making things happen for you. For the feminine among you, the Queen of Pentacles, she is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative and should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. Queen of Pentacles is somebody who really likes to nurture other people especially, but she should be doing herself too. When this card shows up, you may want to make some changes in your environment. Make your house feel like more like a home, or wherever you are. You know, if you're renting a room from someone else or staying with a friend or a family member, sometimes we can put things around, even in decorating or bringing things in from our past or from our own lives, from our own homes. They'll just make us feel more comfortable and more at home. And that's something that the Queen of Pentacles really loves to do. And when you do that, or if you start a remodeling project or spring cleaning or whatever it is, it can often filter into that positive energy and that flow that you create by just moving stuff out of the way and literal obstacles and things out of the way. That flow can extend into other areas of your life. The Queen of Pentacles, again, if it's an actual person in your life that is significant to you, is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. For the masculine, it is more of your energy yet again. This is very specifically and directly your energy. With Major Arcana card 14, Temperance. And Temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. For me, it also represents the sign of Aquarius because of the water bearer that appears on the front of it in most decks. Including the Rider-Waite and this one. But traditional tarot practice, it does represent you. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. This is a card of negotiation, cooperation, collaboration, working with others, and despite differences, like maybe before we weren't able to work together, now we're able to come back together and, figure out a happy medium for us both to meet at, because we're just beyond whatever was holding us back before from being able to be friends, or business partners or co-workers or romantic partners or whatever it was. This is also about restoration and recovery and being made to just feel whole and complete again, where something was lacking or lost or stolen from you. It is being replaced, maybe not with the exact same thing, but the equivalent or better. So this is a card of healing and just putting things back together. And lastly, for the feminine, very nice. The Knight of Cups, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Cups, like the King of Cups that we saw in the beginning. Like I said, this person that may be ready to risk it all for love and happiness with you, is very possibly a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, if not a water sign. And the Knight of Cups is often, for me, an ex or something that is somebody from your life, your past, that is returning to your life. Hope you guys have enjoyed your reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button so you can hopefully get notifications. I appreciate it, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Namaste.